World Championship Wrestling Monday Nitro number 245, May 29th of the year 2000.
Can I just talk about how fucking awful their recaps are? They had a fucking recap of what happened on Thunder.
At least you watched last week's show.
No, I'm talking the Thunder recap
I
they
see.
had.
No, the world title has changed hands like 4 times between one week.
What in the fuck happened on Thunder, besides Nash winning the belt? This was the worst recap of anything I've ever seen ever, except for like their last pay-per-view.
Well, let me read my notes here. Recap has Russo scared of Steiner and Nash. They demand a 3-way with Jarrett, which pisses Jarrett off. Chairs and bats and guitars get used, and Steiner clotheslines dozens of people, and Nash wins the belt.
There was that funny spot where Steiner's running down the ramp with his arms out like a bird, and dudes just run into him and all fall down. He's mowed through them all.
Why do they do that every week?
Why is Scott Steiner like, this is the fucking Berenstein Bears. Why is he a babyface right now?
I don't know.
This is not what happened in my timeline, okay? He was not a babyface in the year 2000. And it's been for like a long time.
That is true.
What's going on? It's bizarre.
Ric Flair arrives in a limo. He jumps out of the limo. He is screaming at his wife, Beth. He's being a total asshole.
Well, they got divorced.
Well, that is true.
That's where it started.
But then Reed jumps out of the car. He's also screaming at Beth like an asshole. Even the good guys, family that is together, they must still yell and berate the women.
Yeah.
What the fuck happened to Vince Russo in his childhood?
I don't know.
I have a lot more to say on this subject as we go on. Now, the point is, unlike the Edge and Christian Joe C segment, there was no camera cut here. Ric Flair, they're in a field. They're like on an airstrip. It's not even a parking lot. There's no buildings for miles and miles around. Flair yells at them, screams at them. His last words are, "Stay here." And he walks off camera. He's gone for 10 seconds. And I timed it. 10 seconds. 10 seconds later, Vince Russo and a cast of thousands attack this limo. How did Ric Flair miss this? They kidnap Beth Flair and Reed Flair and drag them into the same building, going the same direction where Flair was. We're a minute in, and I'm already furious with how stupid this show is. Nash comes out for a promo. He brings out Scott Steiner. Nash cuts a very boring promo. Says there's a lot of millionaires who are not doing well, and Lex's face is all busted up, and Hulk might retire. But I'm doing great.
A lot of millionaires not doing well.
That was it. I swear to God, that
they
was his
should
point.
be billionaires.
His point was, please feel sorry for these millionaires. He threatened a Scott Hall return. Now he brings Flair out because there's not enough people in the ring with
Another
nothing
one
to
of
do.
these fucking things where they start talking about some guy in Florida, and
Right.
it's like, no one knows what's going on.
They did.
Would you stop with this shit?
Well, the announcer's like, he's talking about Scott Hall.
Did he mention Scott Hall or only announcers did?
The only announcer.
Okay, then you're
even-
right.
I don't even know.
So Flair's out there. He's running down Russo. He's running down David. Now, I missed one Nitro due to a work trip. The last Nitro I watched 2 weeks ago, it ended with Ric Flair winning the world title. So apparently while I was gone, Jarrett somehow won it.
Right.
Then Nash won it on Thunder.
Yes.
And here we are 2 weeks later, Nash opens this up by saying, Rick, have your belt back.
Right.
I forgot how all this stuff happened. by
You
the way.
never lost this title, he says. It was never explained why he didn't have it then.
Oh, okay. So Flair won the title in the show
Nitro.
you watched. Then there was the explanation that on Thunder he had a medical reason unknown and fainted. And then I think the belt was given to Jarrett. I could be wrong about
Pretty
this.
sure that's correct.
And then there was a Jarrett Nash match on Thunder.
Well, that was the three-way they were talking
which
about.
was the
Steiner.
recap. I guess there must have been a third person, but I don't know because the recap was fucking terrible. And Nash walked out of it as the champion. Now he is giving the belt
Yes.
to Ric Flair. So
Because it's the right thing to do.
Ric Flair's 16th official title win.
It was handed to
He
him.
was handed the belt by Kevin Nash.
He was in his street clothes.
Yes, so
Big Sexy says, I don't want this belt. Here, take it.
you know, I hear about people crying that Charlotte's already got 9 reigns, and it's like, you ever seen Ric Flair's fucking reigns? Yeah, the first 5 were long, and then like they got him to 16.
So then Jarrett comes out. First, he announces Nash versus Rick Steiner and Tank Abbott in a handicap match, which is fine. Then he announces himself versus Ric Flair for the championship tonight. Ric Flair, by this point, had been champion again for 60 seconds. And they've already got the match booked. So then Ric Flair, the hero, the legend, the one we're supposed to be cheering for, who last I saw was screaming at his wife like an asshole, then says, "No, I don't want to fight tonight."
Right.
What the fuck? Is this that hard? So Flair the coward will not fight. Russo comes out.
Well, there's no such thing as babyfaces and heels to Vince McMahon or to
Vince Russo.
Or Vince McMahon. It's actually both of them, I think.
Vince Russo, everyone is in fact evil, pure evil. So Russo comes out. David is there. He has Beth and he has Reed, and the babyfaces charge. The bad guys flee. And I wrote, well, this was awful.
Russo wearing a sleeveless shirt, always a good look.
He always looks so forlorn when he comes out.
I remember Buddy once told me
I was part of the actor not.
I was doing commentary and Buddy wanted me to bury the Urban Outlaw. And Buddy said,
yes, Tim Flowers ICW did have a TV show for a while, everyone.
So Buddy says, get the wardrobe lady out here. There's something hanging from the Urban Outlaw's shirt. Oh, wait, that's his arm.
Buddy made it funnier.
He did.
Yeah. A gasoline truck pulls up to the building, and Vampiro is driving it.
Where are we? I'm lost.
We just started.
Okay.
Russo and Jarrett and David harass the Flairs. Ric Flair hunts for his family.
Okay, so I missed 3 segments there.
Yeah.
Yes.
I got it.
We are told by the announcers that now, because his family has been kidnapped, Ric Flair will be forced to wrestle tonight.
You know, I've watched B movies that have better plot lines. This is
I watched porn that has better plot lines. And acting. Filthy Animals come out for a promo. Disco Inferno. Am I wrong, or did Disco Inferno challenge G.I. Bro to a lumberjack match?
No, he just challenged the toughest guy.
I see. The only one he name dropped was G.I. Bro. So I assumed he was challenging G.I. Bro to a lumberjack match. Conan refers to the MIA as a bunch of eunuchs, which is an insult that needs to be used more often.
Okay.
The Misfits in action come out. What was this network edit music theme? Like a reject laugh-in track? What is this?
It was weird. What was the original song?
It was generic rock. It had guys starting Misfits in action. It wasn't like a great song, but it's better than this.
I see. So somebody must not have gotten the rights to that one.
I guess.
Wow.
So Disco versus G.I. Bro turns into Disco versus Chavo instead.
I don't think it was ever G.I. Bro.
I don't think G.I.
I think
Bro
you're
was-
making this up, dude.
Then
You're
why didn't
imagining
he mention Chavo? Why did he mention G.I. Bro at all? That just confused me.
He just wanted the biggest and baddest guy there.
Then why was it Chavo?
Because it's fucking a dumb show. Who gives a shit?
Major Stash is right there. He is both bigger and significantly badder.
He's shitty.
That's better.
No,
Well, yeah, he's right.
Everyone brawls. Look, it doesn't matter. Everyone brawls at the ramp, and Ray and Chavo, who I had forgotten when this started, but they are on opposite teams here.
yeah, that was weird.
Chavo is
What?
MIA. Ray is a filthy animal.
Okay, here's what we need to get to, Vinny. Fuck all the rest
I didn't
of
need a
this shit.
scorecard for this, actually.
So, Ray's in the ring. He's going after Chavo. And Major Guns hits the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And Rey Mysterio begins to gesture for a blowjob.
He went as far as to start to remove his trousers.
He started to undo his belt
She'll fillet me here in this wrestling ring,
and
he said.
start opening up his trousers.
Yeah.
She tears off his shirt. He sits on the second turnbuckle and spreads his legs. I mean, whatever. So then she kicks him in the balls.
Yeah.
And he did not get his blowjob.
Yeah.
Geek of the week.
But then Chavo hits a tornado DDT for the pin.
On Disco, in case you've
Disco.
forgotten who's in this match.
And then Tigress hits the ring,
Yes.
and they explain that she is Ray's girlfriend. For some reason, she's mad at Major Guns, but not Ray.
Well,
That's
that's true.
Ray was the one who requested a blowjob and started taking his pants off.
Yeah.
And Tigress is blaming her, even though he wanted a blowjob from her, and her response was to kick him in the balls for
guess,
being a dick.
I guess she's mad at him for kicking Ray in the balls. I guess she would have preferred that Major Guns just blew him.
Well, that's an interesting relationship.
I mean, that's the best I can.
Well, what happens on the road stays on the road. Unless your girlfriend happens to be on the road.
Unless it's on live TV in front of millions of people. Pamela Paulshock.
Can I read the question? 'Cause I wrote it down verbatim.
If you want to, but I'm going to do it too.
Pamela turns to Vampiro and says, Vampiro, what is with the gas truck outside? Is this another one of your sicko plans?
That's what she said. What's with the gasoline truck outside? Is this another one of your sicko plans?
I cried.
It gets better. Vampiro, he's trying to be sneaky.
With a fucking gas truck?
Do you smell that? He says.
Yeah.
Do you smell that in the air?
And she
Pamela is
says,
so clueless. She will not play along. She just says, no, I don't smell anything. And poor Vampiro, she's killing his promo. And he just looks at her and says, duh, it's gasoline.
wink, wink.
Now, this thing is not over yet. In the middle of this Vampiro promo with Pamela Paulshock, Chronic is suddenly beating up Horace.
Yes.
Who should make the save, I guess, but Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stasiak.
Right.
Yes.
They attack Chronic with a baseball bat.
Perfect Sean.
Because he was feeding Mr. Perfect.
Yes.
Yeah. One of the announcers simply asks, why did they do that? I don't know. I don't know why anything in this segment happened.
I don't know who is who is a good guy, who's a bad guy, who's on whose team, why this happened in the middle of a Vampiro interview with Pamela Paulshock. I'm so angry because I met Vampiro this weekend in person for the first time ever.
Oh, really?
I would love to have asked him about this, but I hadn't seen it yet, so I couldn't.
Well, clearly you had to get a hold of him. Get him on the show sometime. Ms. Hancock goes for a walk backstage.
Oh, this.
We are reminded that Hulk Hogan and Billy Kidman are still feuding.
Oh, fuck.
Miss Hancock comes out for a promo. In this promo, she declares she is not a stick in the mud. She knows how to let her hair down and have a good time.
Wait a second. You're telling me that this girl who gets up on top of a table
Every week.
and gyrates around and literally lets her hair down
Yeah.
is now telling us she's a stick in the mud and people think that about her?
Apparently some people do.
Literally all she ever does is let her hair down and have a good time. And
Yeah.
now she's telling us she knows how to let her hair down and have a good time. She is dancing when Chris Candido interrupts.
So what was supposed to happen here
Okay.
is Sonny was supposed to come out, and they would have a cat fight or something like
Sure.
that. So apparently the girls were in the back, and they found syringes,
Oh.
and
Maybe they're diabetics.
then they found a locked door,
Oh.
and then they found Tammy,
Yeah.
and then she wasn't on the show anymore.
I see.
She may not be diabetic then. Well, that's what was supposed to happen. What happened instead was Chris Candido comes out without her. At this point, they randomly cut backstage where David Flair is watching. He's hanging out with Vince. His family's been kidnapped. And he's watching on the monitor, and he gets alarmed and says, I gotta go.
Yeah.
Okay. Spoiler alert, everyone. David, we are told here, is dating Miss Hancock.
Yes.
Which begs the question, if that was a secret and nobody knew it,
Right.
why did the cameraman cut back to him in the first place? So Candido's
That's
in the
your
ring.
problem in all of this?
There's a lot.
My problem is, what the fuck's going on with Daphne?
That's a good one too.
Sure.
Why are they dating now? They were dating in real life. But like one day, they just decided, well, let's make it a storyline now.
So let me get this straight. So Sonny is passed out backstage, and then they say, I know how to fix this. We'll announce that Hancock and...
No, it was a totally different thing.
Okay.
I'm sure those were... I'm sure he was going to come out when the cat fight was happening.
Okay.
The point is he comes out and goes after...
Candido lays his hands on Hancock. David Flair comes to her rescue.
Yes.
David Flair is, if nothing else, forget a personal relationship, he's being chivalrous. He's saving a woman who is being manhandled by a professional athletic man.
Yes, as any good man would.
Ric Flair,
I thought Ric Flair would just be proud.
you would think.
But he wasn't.
Ric Flair
He
attacks
was angry.
David. He didn't attack Candido. He attacked David. How dare you save this woman? You bastard. I'll hit you. So they're fighting. There's all this mess going on. David, who I guess is in fact the villain, rescues the damsel in distress and leaves, and the announcers are screaming, what's going on here? And I don't know. Kimberly Page arrives. She insists on being referred to only as Kimberly.
Yeah, she doesn't want to be Mrs. Page. She's Kimberly now.
They've got all these paparazzi for her, taking pictures and asking her questions. They're saying, where do you get your clothes? And she says, oh, I have my own stylist. Who does your hair? Oh, I have my own hairdresser.
So we're stylists.
Do they have names?
Buys her clothes. Well, anyway, so they go to a segment from, I guess, last week or whatever. Kimberly's on the phone at the house.
Dude.
No.
Remember I said
No, Vinny.
porn had better acting?
This was awesome. This was up there with Brock's boombox. Okay. So
know about that.
she's on the phone and she's packing up all of DDP's stuff because she wants him to move out. And Eric Bischoff calls. And I don't know why I found this so funny, but she's wearing a t-shirt and leather pants. And Bischoff calls and he says, "What are you wearing?" And she says, "Oh, just a t-shirt and jeans."
Yes.
She's not wearing jeans. I don't know why, like, are they that fucking dumb? Or was that supposed to be a joke that went over my head?
I don't know.
I think
So-
the bigger question is, why is Eric worried about what she's wearing?
Because they're fucking, Craig.
He was trying
Hello?
to be flirty.
Dude.
He was spending.
Of all people, you asked me that question. So anyway, she's cleaning out the house, and I don't know why I found it so funny,
never
but she's
once
throwing
thought
all
they
of
were
his
having sex.
stuff out. It's been made patently clear on this television
All right.
show for weeks now.
All right.
Am I wrong, Vinny?
No, it's just the very first
Where
angle.
the fuck have you been? So anyway, she's cleaning out his house. The whole point of all of this is there's a box that's just labeled crap.
Yes.
That's where all of his crap goes.
Okay.
That was funny.
As someone who has moved several times, I have often had boxes just labeled crap.
Yes.
Just random stuff that didn't go anywhere. Didn't go in the kitchen. Didn't go in the closet. It's
Vinny,
just crap.
that stuff you throw away, you idiot.
Put that in the
But
bathroom.
anyway,
Not wrong.
she had a box labeled crap.
I like that they're moving out Dallas Page's entire life. This
Yes.
is not a young man. This is not a new marriage. They've been a couple for decades at this point.
Yeah.
There is one person helping Kim pack everything up.
Well, she got a lot of spare time.
They're in Utah.
6 days between shows.
They're in Utah. Both Donnie Osmond and Karl Malone are shown in the crowd. G.I. Bro comes out for a promo.
Oh, God. G.I. Bro comes out. It's Booker T, and he says, "You know, a lot of people ask me, why are you G.I. Bro?" I thought, that's a good question. I can't wait to hear his answer. He says, "When I broke in, I was G.I. Bro. Now, I'm G.I. Bro again." I thought,
Well,
all right.
to be fair,
Well, you know,
to be
that's
fair,
why he's G.I. Bro.
It's a
he
factual
got
answer.
Booker got fired last week.
Well,
G.I.
yeah.
Bro did not.
But he didn't say any of that, Craig. That was his
I
goddamn
understand.
explanation.
I'm just
When I
telling
broke
you.
in, I was G.I. Bro. And now, I'm G.I. Bro again.
By necessity.
Okay.
Yeah.
He didn't say by necessity, Craig. He didn't say any of that.
I understand,
That's
Brian.
my point.
This is me thinking out loud.
I
trying
don't
to
want
make sense.
to know what it's supposed to be about. I just want to know what he said because it's fucking dumb. The show sucks.
Thank you.
So he challenges Stasiak to a boot camp match at the Bash. He shows footage of Mike Awesome powerbombing him and bouncing his head off the mat on Thunder. Speaking of concussions. He promises to take Mike Awesome out tonight, and he challenges Mike Awesome to an ambulance match for right now. Conveniently, Mike Awesome has an ambulance.
This is the second week in a row where they put Awesome in an ambulance, and then like 5 minutes later, he's back.
3 weeks in a row.
No, back immediately. They did it last week, and now they did it this week. Maybe it
So-
was 2 weeks ago.
As they're doing this match, the announcers are talking about the David Flair stuff. Tony Schiavone asks, why would a man engaged to Daphne, like David Flair, come out and help Miss Hancock here? And I'm thinking to myself, that's a really stupid question. A woman needed help. He stepped in to save her. This is self-explanatory. Before I can even type it, Scott Hudson then says the following words, which I am on a stack of Bibles not making up. My darling wife, when I was engaged to her, if I came to the rescue of someone else, I would hear about it nonstop.
Wow.
I've never met Scott Hudson. I've never met
I
Scott.
met him this weekend.
Well, maybe you can pass this along. I've never met Scott Hudson. I've never met his wife. But based on his own words that he delivered to me with his own voice right here, I can only assume his wife is a terrible person.
Oh,
and he should
Vinny,
leave her immediately.
Vinny, please.
She would get mad at you for saving someone in need?
Well, maybe his point was
The people who make this show are so screwed up.
she wasn't in that much need.
What?
I don't know.
You think she had a 50-50 shot against Chris Candido?
Well, you know, kind of.
Do you know how angry Bridget would be with me if I didn't help someone who needed help like this?
Yes, I do.
This show is so stupid. These people are so screwed up. What planet are they from? What caused their complete lack of human interaction and empathy? These dipshits. So they had a shitty match. Just a terrible match. They're bunking into each other. They're falling here. They're falling there.
They're falling everywhere.
Here is the finish, everyone. G.I. Bro, the hero, is brawling up on the stage when DDP comes out to help. Together, they double team Mike Awesome, they chokeslam him through a table, and they throw him in the ambulance to win.
This is 2 weeks in a row where 2 babyfaces have double teamed Mike Awesome and tried to kill him. He's the heel.
Again, how stupid do you have to be to not realize that when 2 guys are beating up one, the 2 guys are bad?
You got to be Vince Russo.
A special kind of stupid. A very special kind of stupid.
And then he's back like 5 minutes later.
He was back. He was like sweaty. So we cut backstage.
No, this was from earlier, apparently. We learned later that this actually was from like last week or something, but they never tell us that here. We just have to hear about it later when Kim... Yes, because Kim yells... Oh, no, she hit somebody else. I guess there were 2 bad attacks by... Right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, there was 2 by...
Listen, I'll tell you what happened. You tell me
Chronic.
when.
Okay.
Stasiak and Palumbo, they are watching a monitor. They have kidnapped Liz and are holding her against their will. A note is passed under their door.
Separate incidents. I've just figured it out.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
The note reads, "It's 4:19. We'll see you in a minute." They are confused. It's Chronic. They open the door. They beat up Chuck Palumbo and Sean Stasiak. Elizabeth runs away. She's free.
Well, she whacked somebody with a bat first.
She gets her vengeance, but this is the thing. It's been like a month that Elizabeth has been kidnapped and dragged around the country.
Yes.
Now, through some serious the hand of God act, Chronic has attacked her kidnappers, giving her a chance to flee.
Well, actually, she's been freed on more than one occasion.
I'm sure
and
she has.
ends up back in
I couldn't figure out
custody
why
again.
she was kidnapped here.
I'm sure. Who knows?
I don't know what's going on. I did not know what was going on this show.
What is Russo's fascination with kidnapping?
Well, they're women.
Telling stories, Craig.
And women cannot be trusted on their own. They must be contained at all times.
It's almost like he's a woman hater.
He has issues. Bischoff and Kim and Kidman and the Cat and Horace. I would say this again. Eric Bischoff, Kimberly Page, Billy Kidman, the Cat, not that cat, the other cat, and Horace are walking backstage. This is so important that it's to the parking lot.
I met the Cat and Sonny Ono this weekend, too.
I
think I met half of WCW this weekend.
How do they like your book?
I didn't mention it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Left that
Sonny
part
Ono,
out.
actually, I didn't say anything to Shat. I just stood there.
You didn't call him that?
No.
Shad, it's a long time. I've been burying you for 2 decades now.
But I did talk to Sonny Ono for a long time. And he yeah.
Yeah, to say I understand. So we cut to the parking lot to show...
He was a nice guy, but he knew everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he did soothe him at one point, so...
Yeah.
Well,
Hogan arrives.
I remember it be from the 90s. That was a long time ago.
It was.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hogan then says, "It will take more of a man than Eric Bischoff to take the red and yellow off me."
what's he wearing, Vince?
It wasn't red and it wasn't yellow.
was
He's
all-
dressed in black, head to toe. So I guess whoever this guy who's more of a man than Bischoff, he met Hogan in the morning and took the red and yellow off him.
Well, I mean, Hulk took it off himself because he's more of a man than Bischoff.
Well, that's fair. I hadn't thought of that.
But anyway, I just liked when he showed up and he just promo and he goes, "I'm pissed."
He did see that.
He just loves being able to swear now. Every week he gets to say some naughty word.
So then Goldberg's monster truck zooms in, and then Goldberg's car zooms in, and Goldberg's actually in the car.
Who drove the truck?
Well, they want you to think Goldberg drove the truck, but actually Goldberg was driving the car, and
Yes.
they cut away for a second, and then there's Goldberg standing by the truck.
No, we learned later that he drove the car. I want to know who
who
drove
cares?
the truck.
I don't know. I don't know who drove the truck.
This is a mystery, Vinny.
You know what's also a mystery? Where are Reed and Beth? Because Ric Flair is still hunting for them.
I don't know. They're backstage somewhere.
Meanwhile, David Flair still has Miss Hancock, and then randomly we just cut to an aerial shot of the ring for no reason. Here's the shot of the ring from straight down. They plug the following article in Sports Illustrated for Kids. Is pro wrestling a sport?
Yeah. Man.
Eddie Press is good press, I guess.
Okay.
Here I wrote, "I want to light my face on fire."
Wow. Well, Vampiro could do it for you.
I guess so.
I didn't hit that depth.
And there's still an hour to go. It's not like this
No.
is like an hour. Like an hour, not counting commercials. Bischoff and his crew come out. So they're trying to do a gimmick with the Cat, where he will be Eric's yes man and repeat everything he'll say. But this is too complicated. And Cat is talking over. This is where he was the Shat. He's talking over Eric instead of repeating. You can't hear either one of them. And finally, Eric is like, "Dude, shut up.
This is the worst hype man ever.
This sucks." Bischoff comes out. Horace will be the special, or Bischoff's already out. Horace is going to be the special ref for the Hogan-Kidman match. Hogan comes out and says, the red and yellow will never die. It's dead, dude. You're not wearing it right now.
Wearing black still.
He says, I'm going to kick Kidman's ass. I'm going to kick Horace's ass and win the title back. So we cut to the ring.
Maybe it's symbolism, and like if he beats Kidman, he'll put the red and yellow back on.
I don't know. That would be nice to be told that. So they cut to the ring. There's a shot of the ring. We hear Hogan say, I'm tired of waiting.
I'm sick of your mouth.
We hear the mic drop. We see the bad guys all react as if to say, uh-oh, here comes Hulk. But we don't ever see Hulk hitting the ring. Instead, we cut back to the parking lot, where I guess Goldberg has been standing there with his hands on his hips for 20 minutes in the sun, and now decides it's time to walk into the building.
Yeah.
You go to the break, you come back, and during the break, Hulk Hogan did in fact clear the ring.
He beat everybody up.
Yeah. Kevin Nash versus Rick Steiner and Tank Abbott. So they hit Nash with the pipe, and they're beating him up. And then Goldberg's music hits. And even though they have spoiled this throughout the show, maybe they didn't put it in the live crowd, I don't know. His music got a giant ovation.
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
This place went batshit crazy when this guy's music hit and he came out.
Yep.
I mean, they're going absolutely insane. And he comes down, and he hits the ring, and he just fucking kills Rick Steiner with a spear and a jackhammer. The place is jumping up and down. Tank Abbott bails. One fucking guy. And this place seemed hotter than hell.
It was amazing.
One guy.
It was amazing. On this show.
Yep, and he helps up Kevin Nash and hugs him, and they actually point out on commentary that Nash fucked him out of his undefeated streak. They make sure to bring that up to us. Mm-hmm. And this is also the building Goldberg debuted in. So he says the slaughter begins tonight. Escape is no option. If Tank has the balls to show up next Monday in Atlanta, your ass is next.
Yeah.
After all this time,
It's not even the match.
Goldberg's big return versus Tank Abbott is free on Nitro.
I'm actually looking forward to Nitro next week.
Yeah.
They lost $62 million this year.
I'm sure this didn't help.
They could have made at least $2 million with this fucking match.
For the record, also, I will note that this was a disqualification the moment Bill Goldberg entered the ring, before he laid a finger on anybody.
That's one thing they do right.
Huh.
Yeah. Goldberg is now back in the parking lot, walking back to his car.
I loved it. Pamela wants to interview him, and Goldberg just screams, "Out of my way!" And he goes and gets his portion, he leaves.
Because that's how you treat women in WCW.
I didn't look at it that way.
Not right now.
Listen, I'll defend all the other stuff they do, but this one was funny. Goldberg doesn't want to do a fucking interview. He said what he had to say, and he's out of here. What question could she possibly ask him?
Well, okay.
He made it abundantly fucking clear. I'm back next fucking Monday. Tank Abbott and me in the ring on Nitro. That's it. What the fuck more could you ask me? Where I've been? How's my arm? Fuck you. I'm getting my car and I'm leaving.
Those are good questions.
We ain't gonna answer them.
Okay. At this point, we get a technical difficulties disclaimer. I can only assume the internet rejected the show due to its shitty quality.
I don't know what it was. Everything looked fine.
Some hiccups in the announcing. Maybe what was really bad got edited out. I don't know.
Announcing was a technical difficulty? That's not how that works, Vinny.
I didn't mean like actual hiccups. I meant audio snafus.
I see.
Terry Funk does a promo.
Man says something stupid. Technical difficulties, everybody.
Terry Funk does a promo. Says he does not know who his challenger is tonight, so he's going to go beat up Eric Bischoff instead. It's Vampiro. Vampiro comes out to fight. So Vampiro versus Terry Funk in a hardcore match. Where to begin? They start fighting, and then the bell rings. The very first move after the bell ringing is a pile driver on the ramp. Mm-hmm. Funk makes a cover. The ref runs down to count, and Vampiro kicks out. One announcer says, blame the referee. He was out of position. Yeah, he was in the ring.
Okay.
How silly of him. What was he doing down there? We get Vampiro laying out Funk. He lays out the ref for I don't know why. He calls for his pyro to go off. He's screaming at people to set off his pyro. It finally goes off. He goes with Funk into the pyro. The pyro immediately stops. Vamp is just looking around shaking his head like, what the fuck? They're backstage. There's just random dudes getting weapon shots to the head. I don't know what's happening. They fight by the gasoline truck. The hose goes off. The whole parking lot is sprayed with gasoline. The state of Utah is now in fire jeopardy. Sting appears to make the save, and Vampiro pulls out a blowtorch. They take it away from him. That is the end of this Hardcore Championship match.
Cool.
Ric Flair is still hunting for his family.
It's a big building.
The cameramen know where his family is. Why doesn't one of them tell Flair? They're filming Russo and whatever. Shane Douglas is there. He is upset that he has an asylum match with Scott Steiner tonight, but Russo says, hey, it's a title match, and now Shane Douglas is happy.
That almost makes sense.
Sure. I have bigger fish to fry on this show.
That's true.
So the asylum is a small circular cage.
They debuted this last week.
Okay.
It looks like Tweety Bird's cage.
It does look like a bird cage.
Oh, yeah, you missed this, so...
Yeah.
Is this a match, actually?
Yeah.
Not quite yet, but if you want to.
Okay, well, I'll talk about it when we get to the match.
All right. Page's SUV arrives at his house. He finds his boxes of crap all over the lawn.
He's getting a divorce from his wife, but he still says, can you get your sweet ass out of this house?
Fact is facts.
She has cops.
What's he going to say? She's fat? Come on.
They tell him to get out of there. He goes, it's my house. They're like, just walk away, have your lawyer deal with this. She has a restraining order. He can't be within 500 feet or whatever. You got to go. By the way, my kids love you.
I did laugh.
That was funny.
I did laugh at that. So we're back at the building. Here is Sweaty Mike Awesome.
It's back.
Yeah, he's out of the ambulance now. He says, Kim, you've known Paige better than anybody. You need to tell me how to beat him. Palumbo runs up. He says, Kim, I'm screwed. I can't find Liz. But if you go to the ring, you'll get yourself on TV, then you can call out Liz, she'll come out, and I'll get her again. It's his cunning plan. We're shown on Thunder. Liz drags Kim to the ring so Paige can spank her. And then Kim and Mike Awesome and Chuck Palumbo go to the ring. And Kim calls out Liz.
Mm-hmm.
And Miss Elizabeth, the world's dumbest kidnapping victim,
Yes.
comes back out. And she gets in the ring. And Kim unveils her cunning plan, which is get her.
Yeah, good plan.
You get her. The announcers are appalled. This was a setup from the get-go.
You know what's funny
No
about
shit!
this?
They said so.
I got to say something about this. So when Kimberly first came out, started talking, I wrote, to be fair, she's 100% better on the mic now than she was 2 months ago. And then, like, by the end of this, I just wanted to delete that. She fell right off a cliff. Now, Liz was actually not bad. In fact, her promo, when she says, everyone's sick of you and your low-life friends, I'm here, what do you want? She delivered that line great. She just looks like such a deer in the headlights, but when it's time to actually perform, more often than not, she does a great job.
She hits her spots.
Oh, maybe she has Stockholm Syndrome.
Hey. All right. Paige comes out to save Liz. Bischoff is out there. He says, Dallas Page, you have violated your restraining order. You are now under arrest. And he sicks the cops on Page. So the cops put handcuffs on Dallas Page. When Chuck Palumbo is there with the Lex Flexor, he begins to strike the handcuffed Dallas Page with this weapon.
Right.
He begins to strike the police officers in the head with this weapon.
I was so mad when this happened. Like, at the very least, he should be shot at. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
A goddamn metal Lex Flexor? I'm sure that's not what it's really called, but that's what they call it. Mm-hmm. He's beating the shit out of people
It
with
could
this.
be a wiffle bat. You can't hit cops in the face with a weapon. They'll shoot you.
So he beats him up, and eventually, like, everybody leaves, and Awesome then gets up.
Oh, God, there's more. This is still one segment.
I gotta say that, like, to cut to the chase, Karl Malone hits the ring, gives Diamond Cutter to Awesome, and it was actually great, and the place went crazy.
Sure.
But fuck, before that, when I thought this goddamn segment was over, and then Awesome starts to get up, and he starts going after DDP again, I was like, dude, I'm done. I am done with this show. These two fuckers can finish this review. I can't watch any more of this shit. Karl Malone thing was good enough that I gave it a little more time.
Did we mention that in this melee here, Lex came back out and he saved Liz again?
Yes.
Lex and Liz leave together, at which point Mark Madden, the heel, says, I'm just happy to see one couple still together in this godforsaken company.
Did you mention that Lex has the face mask on because he had his nose broken last week?
By the Lex Flexor.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So I assume these cops then will have their faces busted as well.
They won't be here next week. Different
Probably
town.
not.
They probably will not. Steiner and his women are walking backstage. There's a plug for the Human Torch match at the pay-per-view.
I can't wait.
Sting versus Vampiro. First one on fire loses. Pamela demands an interview with Ric Flair. Ric Flair, even though he's been frantically hunting for his family for hours, always has time for the camera.
Well, the large-breasted blonde, I think, was the bigger
always has time for them as well. Always has time for them as well. He says yes to this interview. He's going to beat Jarrett tonight. He's going to get his hands on Russo and David later.
So it's time for this Steiner versus Douglas match in the Asylum, Vinny, and you missed it last week, so you're not nearly as furious as I am, but they come out to the fucking birdcage, and they get inside, and like they start fighting, and actually Douglas was fighting and winning early, which I was infuriated by that, but the bigger issue was, I believe it was Scott Hudson says, there is no way in, there is no way out.
That's right.
Now, you didn't watch the show last week, Vinny, but
Right.
there was an Asylum match last week,
Yes.
and Tank Abbott came out with bolt cutters,
Yes.
and he was going to cut his way in,
Lots of way in then.
but, well, they decided that would be bullshit,
They didn't work.
so his bolt cutters didn't work,
Right.
so he actually couldn't get in. So then, he went over to the guy with the device,
The raise and lower
button.
gimmick.
and he beat him up, and then he raised it.
Yeah.
So in the very first birdcage match, they fucking killed the stipulation on the very first fucking match on the first week. And now these assholes have the fucking temerity to tell me there's no way in and there's no way out. I was so mad. I don't blame the announcers. I shouldn't call them assholes, but talking to people writing the show.
They had no dignity. They could have stood up and said, hey, remember last week?
They don't give a shit.
Well, they
You
don't.
kidding me?
So, let's see. Scott Steiner on live TV in Utah, of all places, says to the crowd, no, the women in the crowd, I can't believe I'm going to say this.
Go ahead.
Separate your hips and stick your ass out, and the daddy will make you pass out.
Wow.
Huh.
Last week you talked about 69ing.
Yes.
The 69er was Scott Steiner, which they actually bleeped out, but they didn't bleep it out of the network.
Well, they did not believe your hips and ass out here.
No.
So they're doing spots.
Separate your hips.
That's what he said.
Are they going to give birth in the middle of this?
Well,
Well,
Anyway.
why did they call him Big Papa Pump? So they're doing spots like running the cage. Steiner puts the recliner on and wins. Hey,
Yeah.
I'll finish. That's fine.
That was a finish. He didn't get out this time.
no.
No.
Douglas is a moron.
Sure.
Sting goes for a walk. Hulk Hogan is in red and yellow watching
Finally.
Sting and muttering to himself.
See, I knew it.
Kidman versus Sting.
Maybe he hadn't suited up yet. He showed up in black because that was his street clothes.
Suited up.
Well, yeah,
Then he got in the building and he put on the red and yellow. Hello?
it's like when he's in the black, he is Mick Foley. When he puts on the red and yellow, he's Cactus Jack.
Yes.
Okay.
Jack.
He's Cactus Jack.
He's Cactus Dude. That would have been the best gimmick.
I don't know why that's so funny. Why is that so funny?
It's the delivery.
Kidman, you were very excited about it. That's true. Billy Kidman versus Sting. They had all sorts of fun flying in and out of the ring in this ramp. They put this ramp to good use. And then Vamp comes out, hits Sting with a blowtorch. Kidman wins, because why not? Hogan has to run down to make the save. The man can barely move.
Right.
Bischoff and his crew attack. They have a trash can. They throw the red and yellow gear into the trash can and set it on fire. And Vampiro's going to say...
Dude, in the middle of this, I just wrote, this show sucks, just awful. And I just kept recapping it. Like, I couldn't even finish the recap of this segment before I had to write those words down.
Or something else awful happened.
Yes.
The dumbest thing was Hogan is down in the ring, and Vampiros wanted to light somebody on fire for weeks now, and then he pours the gas into the trash can and lights the shirt on fire.
Let me just read this here. I don't want this to all go to waste. Vamp then comes down with the blowtorch. Hulk Hogan jobs down to the ring. I meant jog, but I mean,
Sure.
he's done so many jobs that you can understand I'd fuck that one up. Runs wild on everyone. Bischoff down, waffles Hulk with a chair. Hulk no-sells it. Shat down, kicks the chair into Hogan's face. Horace down. This show sucks. Just awful. Fans chant for Goldberg, but he left. They light a fire in the trash can. They burn the red and yellow. Ah, who gives a fuck? Burn one of my shirts. I don't give a shit. Chronic runs down to make the save. That's my recap.
That's what happened.
Yeah.
That's accurate.
They burned his shirt. Who fucking cares?
He's got no more. It's his
You
only
don't
yellow
got
shirt.
another red and yellow shirt?
He opened up his closet.
What, this means so much to you that you're mad that the fucking
Fred
one in
Flintstone?
1,000 fucking shirts got burned? It's like burning one of Oliver's black shirts. He's got 59 others.
That's right.
So Ric Flair couldn't find his family, so I guess he said, oh well, I'll put my trunks and boots on instead. And he comes to the ring.
Yeah, he comes out to have a match now.
So it's Ric Flair versus Jeff Jarrett with David Flair as ref. For 2 hours, they tried so hard. They tried so hard to screw up a Ric Flair match. And they just couldn't do it. Ric Flair's too good. This match was fun. They're fighting everywhere. He's a tremendous babyface. So David's the ref. He gets taken out because he has another Statue of Liberty. These things are all over the place.
Yes. He orders them by the case.
He got them in bulk. Flair hits him with that. Now Little Nate's his ref. He gets bumped. Flair's fighting security. Russo puts the ref shirt on. Flair just beats him up openly. David gives the guitar to Jarrett, who hits Flair. Jarrett makes the cover. Russo counts the pin. The fans are filling the ring with garbage. Beth and Reed are still kidnapped. An all-time horrible show, I wrote.
Dude, there's two things in WCW. Two things that the fans love. Two things and two things only. One of them is Goldberg, and one of them is Ric Flair.
Mm-hmm.
They gave Ric Flair the title. They fucked it out of him, or they fucked it off him, or however you want to term it.
Wow.
Then he gets it back, and they immediately fuck him out of it at the end of this show.
Mm-hmm.
These fans pelt the goddamn ring with garbage. I'm sure everyone backstage was like, oh, he finally did it.
What heat.
What great heat. These fans are so mad. $62 million, dude. Out of business in less than a year. That's what this fucking pelting garbage was. Bullshit. A wretched, horrible, shitty, awful show. Not the worst one I ever saw. But I hated it more than most other ones I've ever seen.
When they did the Statue of Liberty thing, for weeks and weeks, Russo's been hitting guys over the head and just shatters and sprays everywhere. When Rick does it, he uses it like a gimmick. And it doesn't break.
Well, he's a trained worker, you see.
Yeah. It's amazing.
He's practiced for years to hone his craft. Whereas Vince Russo's a jackass who thinks it's all fake and that's easy if that's he can do it, when in fact it's hard and he sucks.
Yes. Thank you, Vinny.
Breaking news in 2019.
Are you ready?
I am ready this time. I was not last time. The finishes on this show were pin after interference from a half dozen men and a striptease. Win in an ambulance match after interference. DQ due to run-in in a handicap match. No finish any hardcore match due to gas spill. Clean submission in an asylum match. Pin after interference and blowtorch shot. Pin when the first evil ref helps the second evil ref count a pin after interference from like 5 other people.
That was a bad show.
A no good, very bad show.
A very, very horrible television program.
I hated it and it made me angry.
It sucked.
No buys.
Worthless.
Thumbs down.
All right, we're out of
Say
time.
something for once.
We'll talk about Vegas on Thursday with Granny because she's gonna have 1,000 questions.
Oh, that's good. I wasn't there. No big deal.
So,
Hey, we're going to see about Vegas.
yeah,
was
what do you have
awesome.
to say?
I had a great time. I went to Vegas instead of WrestleMania this year, and I made the right choice.
Excellent. I'm glad you had fun. Vegas is cool. Rob.
I don't remember. He didn't go.
Oh, I was going to say something.
Oh, Rob's got something to say? Yes, Rob.
Yeah, I want to know which one of you two clowns brought me back my official Marco Stunt fanny pack.
I did not see Marco all weekend.
So disappointed.
You wanted one?
Yeah.
I went into 21 and over casinos. He couldn't get in.
You know, I never looked down once, so therefore I probably didn't see him.
Yeah.
What do you want a fanny pack for?
Why not?
It wasn't that I wanted a fanny pack per se. I wanted the Marco Stunt fanny pack.
So you wanted to troll me?
Yes, basically.
Fucker.
Well, Brian, you're gonna have the last
I should have
laugh.
brought you back his leg.
Maybe next week.
Yeah, I'll bring you back something Marco related. His fucking heart.
Wow.
All right, we're out of time, everybody. We're going to wrap it up for today. And obviously, no Filthy Tom tomorrow. Next 3 weeks, Filthy Tom is wrestling every Wednesday
Oh.
for Beyond Wrestling. So we have to figure out how we're going to get him on the program. But that is the update. But we will have Wrestling Observer Live, Wrestling Observer Radio, a lot of other great stuff. So check it out. And that is it. We will talk to you again after a while.
Good night.
Adios.